Hello and welcome to the Lost and Found Tarot channel. Today we're practicing our Celtic Cross Spread. I use it when I want to get a specific answer on a question. And so for this question, I'm going to pull it from my homemade practice deck. I write out things that I've received on little pieces of cardstock, and when I want to practice, I'll pull a question out at random and read on that. Today the topic is self-discovery, also referred to as shadow work. And the question is, what do I believe that isn't true about myself? This seems like an easy get because we're not being asked to pinpoint timelines, location, events, or interactions. So we can spend more time thinking about archetypes and subconscious or spiritual meanings. This is obviously not a common question because it's asked by a person with some pre-existing awareness that they need to do some spiritual work or continue a restoration process. Before I do a Celtic Cross Spread, I write it all out, so I have every card position mapped. This is just what works best for me. I start by taking my blank Celtic Cross template and writing out the question I need answered. If it involves specific people, I'll add their names as well. Then I assign the card positions. As you see, I'm all over the place with this one because I need to figure out what I need from each position. I want to receive a nice clear answer for the client, so every card spot needs to serve a specific purpose. The Celtic Cross is a 10-card spread with a distinct arrangement. Some readers use significator cards for the anchor as card position 1, but I don't. We start with 2 cards in the center, add 4 cards around those 2 center cards, then build an arm over the other side. The order I lay my cards may not be the way you do it, and that's totally fine, and both of us are right as long as we do it consistently. If you don't use the Celtic Cross because it seems too restrictive, I'm going to show you how to make small modifications to the card positions to help you get the best answer. We can't make too many changes to the card positions, because then it wouldn't be the Celtic Cross, but we do have a little bit of flexibility. Card position 1 will be the present situation, and the second card will be the crossing element. These 2 cards will be read as a team. Card 3 comes from the bottom of the deck and represents what's unknown to the querent or client, or what's being withheld for whatever reason. Card position 4 represents a recent past, and I specify 2 months. Card position 5 should describe what the querent's expectation of the situation is. This is a great spot for modification because its role is to verify the situation. When you talk to your client about what happens in cards 1, 2, 4, and 5, those should mean something to them because those cards should be telling us what happened and what the querent has thought about it. If none of those cards make sense, pick up the spread and redo it, or try again later. Sometimes tarot does not want to answer the question at hand, so if the cards are not coming out to verify the situation, that might be why. Card position 6 is the near future. Again, I work with a 2-month time frame. The more specific we can make our questions, the better an answer we can give our clients. So that concludes the cross. Let's go over to the arm of the spread. I don't have enough table space, so my arm kind of overlaps a bit, but the idea is exactly the same. Card position 7 will be the present attitude of the querent, which seems like it would be redundant because of card position 5, but this one is slightly different, and we can talk about that when we get to the breakdown. Card position 8 will describe external influences. In a lot of my books, it's referenced as the environment, which is not wrong, but by calling it external influences, we might be able to see if it will point us in a specific direction. Card position 9 for the spread will be the innermost emotions of the querent. So if this person who is our client is asking about has hopes, fears, or feelings relevant to the situation, they should come out here. Finally, card position 10 is our outcome card, and I generally put a time on this of about 6 months. For the situation and crossing card, we have the 8 of Swords reversed and the Hierophant. The 8s in general are about reevaluation and progress. Our client may be in the midst of some social or societal constraints, trapped in the status quo. We do see external pressure in the Hierophant that keeps our client from realizing that they have all the tools already to reveal their path. They may have been feeling anxious or trapped, but there is some rapid relief happening in this 8 of Swords. Card position 3 here at the bottom, and in my modification, it's supposed to show us what they're not acknowledging, or what are they not fully aware of. I take this card from the bottom of the deck, but you can take it from anywhere you want as long as you're consistent and do it the same way every time. What the querent doesn't know or has not said is represented by the Sun. While this reading is completely fictional, what we might be able to deduce so far is that they think their situation is much worse than it is. I mean, if the hidden card is the Sun in a self-discovery or shadow work reading, they might be someone who is prone to anxiety, or so used to being crushed by something chronic or long-term, they can't really believe things are going to be okay for them. I'm suspecting that we have a chronic worrier, and that worry stems from a long-term and deep-seated insecurity that likely began when they were young. While the sun is a lovely image, we also have to remember that we don't control the horse we're sitting on the back of. This concept of not being able to control a situation, even if we wanted to, is a deep fear that a lot of us share. So while we can take hope from this, we can also see the source of why the person feels the way they do. In our recent past for card position 4, we see that the querent is doing a willful exploration of their fears and trying to claw their way out of a depression. That is, for their own reasons, feeling impossible to do. This is a pretty basic view of the past from the Nine of Swords reversed. There are layers of pain here that they want so badly to be able to release. Up in card position 5, we have the Devil. Let's check out the parallels between this card, visually, to the Hierophant below in card position 2. In the Hierophant, we have two figures before the priest or authority, who is giving guidance and blessing. Then we have the Devil card, with two figures before what is supposed to be the Devil, who has an open hand raised and a lit torch in the other hand. The figures below are so loosely chained that it's like there's no point to them even having restraints. They're not going anywhere. What does this say about what the client expects? I would ask, what have you committed yourself to that no longer serves you, but you still do it? We could find that there is an addiction of some kind. There could even be paralyzing fear. There could be obsessive behavior. Effectively, they do not expect the best for themselves at this time. The Knight of Pentacles in card position 6 may indicate some good progress in the short-term future. This knight moves the slowest, so while there's progress, it will be methodical and one step at a time. The breaking of old thought patterns is not one that someone can just snap out of. In a practical sense, it could mean taking part in outdoor activities or pursuing physical activity or fitness. Going to the arm of the spread, the present attitude of the querent is the Six of Pentacles. Keeping our querent's question in mind, this card is showing us their current submission to some power that is being held over them. That obligation relates somehow to the Devil and the Fool reversed. So when they're blended together, we have some sort of powerlessness. They do not feel like they're in control, and since they're asking what belief they hold is, what is the belief they hold that is not true, it could very well be the overarching belief that they do not have personal agency. They are aware that something is not right, but they just don't know exactly what it is. They are on the right path, though. The Eight of Pentacles reversed in card position 8 has many possible meanings, but most relate some way to a pursuit or work setting. There's an earthly quality that could imply there are less than ideal conditions or prospects currently. A dead-end job or continuously pouring money into a venture that's doomed to fail are common situations. If this comes up, you could ask, what are they working on that's not returning expected results? There's a limitation from this card that permeates why the querent came to you. If we dig into the innermost emotions of the querent in card position 9, where the Fool reversed is, again it can be many things. When we put it with the Devil card, it repeats a fear of trusting in oneself, or seeing yourself as your own savior. Maybe people in their lives convinced them that they need to rely on something external, so they latched onto harmful habits or things that just don't serve them. We're all the fool when we wander into places we've never been. If it was upright, we could say that the querent is taking that leap of faith, but in the reversal, we might be seeing why it's blocked. It's fear, plain and simple. Fear is so powerful, and while it often keeps us from an early grave, it's a hell of a pickle jar lid on our potential. In the outcome card, we see judgment, and it's promising for our querent. There's a resolution in judgment. At this point, we've come to terms with our past and experiences, and have moved beyond it. The crossroads on the angel's trumpet is that breakthrough point, and we see a resurgence or spiritual resurrection coming. Once our querent realizes that they have to take back their power by moving through, not away from, their fear, they'll find their reward on the other side. They have the power to free themselves. Perhaps this reading will help them understand that and will accelerate the process. Thank you so much for watching. If you have some thoughts to share from your own practice or some questions, please put them in the comment section and I'll do my best to respond. If you like this video, please consider subscribing so you'll get the heads up when I post a new one.